As I said earlier, that in case of summary, we give different points. The points that have been given, we go on touching those points. We just make them brief. But in case of Precis, things might be slightly different. Suppose instead of touching all the points, it is possible to see here the second page is not relevant. Leave it. Right? You might start from the center, you might start from the start, so things are slightly different. There is no absolute rule for Precis, but generally speaking, there are some rules. The first is, it's a hack rule that it should be 1/3 of the original Precis. But it is nowhere written in the Quran that it should be 1/3. It is just a thumb rule. It is just a thumb rule that it should be 1/3. Suppose a passage is of 100 words. So generally speaking, right, you should write something like 33, 1/3. But practically, it doesn't matter if whether they are 33 or not. It can be something like 30 to 40, or even less or more.
Yes, sir.
But things should be relevant. Right? If you go on counting words, okay, yes, 1, 2, 3, this is not the way. If the very spirit of that is not there, just a few triangles I use. Okay. Anyway, generally speaking, roughly, we say it should be 1/3. What else? Any other concept? No? You would have heard that Precis should be. No. In Precis, there are no illustrations, right? No illustrations. No illustrations. Illustrate over human beings. No illustration. No explanation. No examples. Nothing like that. You are not, because you have to make something precise. You are not supposed to dilate upon that. You are not, okay? So, no illustration means no examples. Right?
Yes, sir.
No useless punctuation marks, like inverted commas and hyphens and things like that. Okay? No examples, no details, obviously. So, what else? Generally speaking, it is said that the very start and the very end of a passage counts much more than the remaining stuff. The very start of that and the end. It means first you can say 2 to 3 lines, and the last 2 to 3 lines. Okay, last 2 to 3 lines. They are very important. In every writing, sort of. First 2 to 3 lines and the last 2. Clear? It means suppose you start writing questions. If you do focus on the very first lines, with me you will get the theme of it. Right? Because in the middle there is sort of hodgepodge, right? Just fudging and they just go on talking this and that. That is detail. The very start and the very end, they are much more important and it's true. What else? In Precis it is said that there should be originality. Originality stands for there should be originality. That means what? It means expression does not look like that as you have copied something from the same passage. It should be original. You should write the same thing, but do write that in your own words. Expression should look original. You are writing the same thing. But most of the students, they go on a reproduce things. Okay, they take some excerpt from here, and they just amalgamate them and just, it's not. Originality means expression should be original. Stuff would be the same, but originality. Another thing that is very, very important, that is there should be simplicity. And Precis, there should be simplicity. That means what? It means your expression should be as simple as possible. No need of using very heavy words, difficult words. Okay. Suppose, as I said, that sometimes people use very tricky words just to create the impression that they are doing something good. That is against the very spirit of this expression. No?
Yes, sir.
So go for very simple words.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose you can say, instead of saying the word repercussion, just say after effects. No need of saying governation. Right? Go for very simple words. Suppose you say strength. Strength in one sense means to the strength of bhingapan and squint is to look like this. It is used for bias. So if you say, if I say that Nasir always squints, so if you feel that this can cause sort of ambiguity, why don't you use the word Nasir always biases? So go for those words that are a bit more familiar. Okay. Suppose take the word familiar. If I use the word familiar in the sense that familiar is also used for sort of ghost, root. If I use the word familiar in that sense, that will lead to sort of plus. Right? It's important. Familiar has come, how familiar can come, right? So, simplicity, originality, what else? Something different. These are 100% true, right? Your expression should be indirect cum passive voice, something like this. Expression should be indirect cum passive voice, right? PV. That means you are not supposed to say, I said this. It should be something indirect, right? It was said, it was mentioned. Okay. Expression. You are not supposed to say that we should do this, it should be done. Clear? And when you say that there will be no illustration, that means what? You can ignore the whole paragraph and you will ignore the middle portion. Clear? And one thing more, you are not supposed to give any comment. Suppose there is a Precis and that Precis, suppose it is written that Islam is not a good religion. So you are not supposed to become emotional and say, oh, Islam is something. Over there, you have to remain confined to that very thing itself, right? Whatever that thing is, you have to. So no comment. Sometimes unintentionally we go for that, right? So no comment, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the methodology? How you actually start like this? First of all, you can make sort of like summary of each paragraph. Suppose there are three. First make summary of the first paragraph, of the second, of the third. Clear? This way you have actually narrowed down your style. Okay, this is the idea of this. And the best approach is amalgamation. Amalgamation basically means that you just amalgamate means what? Anyone knows amalgamation? Merging, exactly. Amalgamation basically means that you mix, right, all that stuff. You can start from the third paragraph and you can, right, add the second and you then come to the first. It's not in the Quran that you have to start from the first paragraph. Amalgamation means you have to reproduce all that, the theme of that. But when you amalgamate something, that usually is a bit confusing. Most of the students, they cannot amalgamate. Suppose Humayun might be in a position, Rabia might be, but generally speaking, when students amalgamate, they miss half of the stuff. So don't amalgamate if you cannot. You just, whatever you've written, just put them together and that will automatically be your question. No details, no dates, no inverted commas, no examples. Very simple. And never try to take some stuff from that. To whatever extent, try to write in your own words. That creates a better impression. These 5, 6, 7 points are there. And once again, it's a game of practice, right?
Yes.
Once you do, technically take care of this, and after that, basically problem that it is said that in Precis your expression should be very simple. But the problem is, to comprehend that very thing, you need good vocabulary. Right? So, suppose in CSS classes, you might have seen that so many words are very uncommon. So if you do understand something, if you clutch something, then you can comment on that. So the main thing is to grasping all that. Even if you don't understand the whole, you should try your best to get a sort of skimming and scanning, and reach the point that, okay, this is the thing. Right? No details, no illustrations, no comments, no difficult words. So after that, inshallah, after a little bit practice, you can go along with it. These are just sort of, okay. Thank you very much.